Right.
Welcome to Expert Views on ADR Ever, a podcast about simplifying the traditional African method of settling disputes or the appropriate alternative dispute resolution ADR in a bid to attract more users to settle their disputes or conflicts with mediation, arbitration, collaborative law, restorative justice, negotiation, conciliation, and early neutral evaluation. My name is DrChinweEgbunike, a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Brighton, United Kingdom, and a fellow of the American Bar Association section of Dispute Resolution. I am delighted to welcome His Royal Highness, Professor Peter O Ebigbo, NNOM, to the EVER Show. He is the Igwe, which connotes King of the Amaofuo Autonomous Community in Imo State, Nigeria. He is a consultant clinical psychologist at the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital. Prof was a former deputy vice-chancellor at the University of Nigeria. He is also the executive director of African Network for the Prevention and Protection Against Child Abuse and Neglect, Nigerian chapter. He was a recipient of the NNOM Award. NNOM stands for Nigerian National Order of Merit Award. This is an academic award conferred on distinguished academicians and intellectuals who have made outstanding contributions to Nigerians' academic growth and development. Prof wears many hats, so I've left the link to his profile below. Let me stop sharing now. Welcome to the show, Prof.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you so very much for honoring the invitation. You are the first royalty that I'm having on the show, or the first king or Igwe. So I'm really grateful. So without wasting much of your time, the first question is, can you give me an overview of how conflict or disputes are settled in Amaofuo community in Imo State, Nigeria?
Thank you very much. I occupy an ancient stool. I'm the Obuehi the sixth.
Yeah.
The traditional chair is very old, and we have been practicing the same method over time. You know, I'm of the Igbo ethnic group.
Yes, sir.
And we live according to the truth symbolized by Ofo. Ofo is all the ways we should behave in attunement to our Creator. So there are sets of codes of conduct, traditional methods of doing things.
Yes, sir.
And each elders in the family gets this offer, eldest male, whenever somebody who carries the offer dies,
yeah,
the next eldest person, usually his first son, inherits the offer. And this offer, the person who carries the offer for the whole community is the
hello. Hello. I think I've lost Prof.
to adjudicate on matters bordering on culture and tradition. We don't go into criminal matters except they are tangential to the case.
Okay.
So let me now, having cleared the ground, let me tell you the steps we take. In the community, we have various subgroups who help the traditional ruler in adjudication. He doesn't adjudicate in all matters, otherwise he'll be engaged every second or every minute of the day. So we have the group of the Ozo title. This is the highest traditional title in the community. They are called Nze and Ozo. That is, they are meant to avoid bad things and to propagate the truth always. So a member of Ozo, if he has a case, he may start with the Ozo title, Ozo group. And we don't have police, we don't have army, we don't have guns, we don't have anything. Our method of adjudication is rejection of the person. You know, social exclusion. And nobody wants it. So when the community gathers and an adjudication has been made, and if you don't accept it, then you can now, some kind of punishment will be imposed, which you won't like. Then we have also Dumada. We have the daughters who have been married out, but also come when matters, difficult matters arise. We also have the women married into the group. We have town union, we have youth group, and so many groups. So sometimes when a matter is brought to the traditional ruler, he refers them back. The traditional ruler has 19 wards in the community, and each ward elects an Ichie, a representative of that ward in the palace, who help the traditional ruler to govern, to adjudicate, and to rule the community. In addition, there are also people who have distinguished themselves in the community, and they are invited and conferred a chieftaincy title conferred on them. Some of those people stay back and take the Ozo title. Then they can rise to Ezibe. That is chiefs who also help the Ichies and the Eze in the adjudication process. So if somebody has scaled all these lines that I've drawn, and also we have 4 villages. We have Obaha, the oldest, we have Amorie, we have Umuduru, and we have Ebisi. Each of the village has an old man. And if there's a problem in that village, the person goes first of all to the oldest man in that village. And the method of adjudication there is much more direct, much more intensive, and much more spontaneous than when it climbs up to the level of the traditional ruler. Because at that level, when the person has fulfilled the condition, brought money for wine and so on, and then the matter is open, both sides put on their cases and their relations, you know, they tell the truth, because the whole thing is about the truth. Anybody, because we said that that is, if 2 people are struggling for a good, God is the third party. So, and that God is the truth. So, and in that adjudication process in the house of the eldest, people say their minds, people shout, people cajole, people praise, people cry, people talk quietly, people say the truth, people reveal even secrets that will lead to the getting to the truth. And when you get to the truth, then we can now judge who has deviated from the norm, custom, and tradition. And then the judgment is pronounced. It doesn't take too long. It can take 1 or 2 sessions. But when it comes to the traditional ruler level, that is the highest level, see what happens. A person, for example, says somebody is encroaching on his land. You know, this is farming season now. A lot of land disputes coming up because people want to get more land or get land to do their farming. So what the traditional ruler does, he sends a messenger with a palm frond. The palm frond that is white, it is a sign of danger. It is also a sign of peace. When it is put on the land, it means the community is there and everybody should keep away. All parties are informed that the traditional ruler has placed the omo. This palm frond is called the omo. It is also sometimes put when dangerous masquerades are coming or when people are carrying caskets of, you know, remains of dead people.
Dead person. Okay.
So this omo is placed there, and the 2 parties are invited to the traditional ruler's palace. The traditional ruler normally has high respect and high influence because he is respected for always saying the truth and making true adjudication. He has the offer. He has the offer or the symbolized truth of the community. So when they come, he uses his dignity, his authority, his, and tries to get them agree. And agreement is you people come nearer one another. Why did you do this? Don't do this. Try and be generous. This is your brother. Why would you take or leave a little? Tomorrow also you get back. And with such a rehearsal of the moral order, the traditional ruler may then get the adjudication.
Yeah.
They may then agree to his stamp and they go. They don't need to spend any more money. No more effort needs to be done. But if one is so much aggrieved that his aggression is coming almost to the traditional ruler, because in every case you adjudicate, you must be prepared to take part of some of the aggression that arises.
Yeah.
If there is so much emotion and so much aggression, and the person refuses the adjudication of the traditional ruler, then the traditional ruler may suggest, okay, bring it to the community to look into.
Okay.
And then they may enthusiastically agree. But it means, and then the traditional ruler, through his messenger, will tell them the dates to come to the palace and will also inform all the members of the cabinet comprising of those he chairs, those elected representatives of the wards and the chiefs, those who have been given traditional title and who have also taken the other title called the Zipe. They're invited. And then anybody who, the two parties, all of them, the palace hall is completely full. Then when they have presented the money required each side and the drinks that the people will have at the end of the adjudication, then the adjudication starts. The aggrieved presents his or her matter. And after presenting, nobody will disturb him. And then the accused will ask questions. After the accused has asked, the accused has asked questions, then the cabinet members will ask questions in order of dignity. The chairs first and the first.
Okay.
And sometimes also traditional ruler may allow anybody from the floor to ask questions. Because from those questions, the truth comes out. The whole idea is walking gradually towards the truth.
Towards the truth, yeah.
After the accuser has presented the case, asked questions and answered them, then the accused comes in, presents his own part of the case. The accuser asks him questions, and then after he asks questions, the cabinet members ask questions in the order of seniority. And then after they have asked, some members of the community, they also ask questions. Then there is a break. Then after either on the same day or another day, then the witnesses are called.
Okay.
The witnesses come and give the witness, and also the other party asks the witness question. And then thereafter, members of the cabinet and also members of the public in the palace, when the witness have finished, the witness of the other party will also repeat the same process. When they have completed the witnessing, we also have another break. Everybody now goes out, and there's a retires with members of the cabinet for inner caucus meeting. At that meeting, everybody, all the members of the cabinet will be saying their minds. Did you notice how this person was hedging when this question was asked?
Yeah.
I know this part of the land, and what he's saying is not correct. And then this is how people, oh no, he's correct. I think he's correct. And sometimes also, those members of the party may have been influenced behind the scenes, sometimes. And that is why after all this intensive discussion of the inner caucus, the truth is hanging around. And then they let the Eze to cast the judgment, not there and then.
Okay.
Then the Eze will come back to the palace, calling everybody.
Okay.
And then pronounce the day he will give the judgment. The Eze will retire, looking at his offer or truth and justice that he's called to defend as a traditional ruler. He will look at all the cases presented and then arrive at the truth. He will make use of all the things he saw during the case, and also all the things that the inner caucus members of the cabinet discussed, their opinions, and then putting them all together, he comes to a judgment, which in my own case, I write it down, type it. On the day after reading the judgment, I distribute it to both parties.
Oh, okay.
Now, in my judgment, I try to find the reason why the matter arose, why the complaint was laid.
Yeah.
I try to find justification or the rightness of it. I also try to find why the other party reacted. I also try to find justification for it. Then I will now invoke on the truth, on what I know about the culture and tradition, what I heard about who owned the land before, what I know about the demarcation, and then tell one of them that you are the one who is wrong. And many a time, some of them come and thank me that they didn't know. The whole process is a learning process. People flock to the court to be educated because this is where you hear about, for example, if a man dies, what does who inherits him? If he has 3 wives, how are his things shared? Who gets the house of the father? Who gets the house of the mother? All these things have prescribed standard regulations that have been there since time immemorial. So that, but as we grow up, many people don't know it. So on the days of judgment, or through these such cases, they come and they learn it. So this is in a nutshell how this process I've described comes only when all the other cases have been exhausted. A case can be brought to the palace, and I will say, go to your Ichie, that is the elected member of your ward, one of the 19 wards, and your Ichie will be assisted by SEPs in that his ward. Okay. And then they will do the adjudication. I can also refer you to the oldest man from that village. I can also refer you to their church. There's something that can happen, and I can refer you to the church. Okay. You know, I gathered so much experience in child rights monitoring. You know, I'm a child rights advocate, and I represented Nigeria as a member of the committee of experts on children at the African Union level from 2003 to 2008. Oh, wow. I was also the Nigerian candidate for election into the UN Committee on the Rights of the Child. I was in New York 2001 and 2010. Oh. Unfortunately, I was not elected each time because there was something that Nigeria did that was not palatable to many countries of the world. Okay. But so I have experience in this form because this form is very, very strong. We monitored, child monitoring centers. When you have a case of child abuse, you report it there.
Yes, sir.
Then we adjudicate. We call you, and if we see that you are in transit, then we can go to court. But we have not been able to go to court for 30 years, except only on 3 occasions, because people don't like to go to court.
Yes,
they feel it is the worst thing that you can do to them to take them to court. So that is how compounding, mediation, diversion, and you can call it all the kinds of names in alternative methods of disputes.
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
With this experience now, it helped me in my adjudication ability in the community.
Yes, oh my goodness. This has been interesting and educative at the same time, Prof. What I wanted to ask is about the laws, because you pointed out these laws are not written down.
Yes. We have, each community has its tradition.
Yes, sir.
As I said, we don't go into criminal matters.
Yes.
We don't have it goes to the police and it takes its own course.
Okay.
But anything, culture and tradition comes to us. And I am beginning now gradually to put down some of the unwritten traditions.
Okay.
If you listen to a traditional healer doing incantation,
yes, sir.
In all those incantations are those laws being pronounced.
Yeah. Interesting.
Onye ji ihe nwata weli aka elu aka fụ ofu obodo ata ka nwata ewere ihe. Ịmara ya mmadụ ga-eme owute ga-emekwali onye ọzọ. There's so many and also in the proverbs.
Yes, sir.
All these are embedded in the proverb, as I told you, the truth. But there are customary ways that haven't been written down. For example, a woman does not meddle in land dispute. He must bring her first son, or a male in the larger family.
Yes, sir.
A man inherits, the firstborn inherits the man's yam ban. Or if he has taken the title, his elephant tusk. That is a sign of his great achievement and as a member of the Ozo title, prestigious Ozo title.
Yeah.
There are certain ways of dividing land. Sometimes land is divided and the people who planted particular trees will continue harvesting those trees. Sometimes also land is divided and you have everything in that land. We also know that if the father is alive and he has shared the land to his sons and they have built those who have built their houses move. Those who have not been able to build their houses stay in the father's house. But if the first son has not been able to build his house, that father's house is his own.
Okay.
And where a man has 2 or more wives, any building that a very industrious woman sometimes builds wonderful building, it is the youngest son who inherits that mother's house.
Okay.
There are so many of these things, and the Eze doesn't know all. It is in these adjudication processes that people come and begin to tell you things that happen in history, that this is this and this is this, and he is asked his authority. He quotes his father told him, or he was there when his grandfather was, making such pronouncements, and this and that should be asked. But I'm beginning to feel that I'm beginning the process of trying to document the do's and don'ts in terms of culture and tradition of my people.
Oh, wow. Thank you so very much on that. I wanted to ask about, okay, no, I'm going to ask that later because you talked about criminal matters, because I know, because where I come from, the method of settling disputes is similar to yours, and there are some cases where accident would occur and they would call in the parties and they would talk about it, and maybe the party, the victim or the victim would want the offender's family to, you know, build houses for them and sponsor the burial ceremony and all that.
If
know,
you kill somebody, whether by accident,
yes,
there's a separation between you and that family.
Okay.
There's a big chasm between you and that family. And the two families have to meet again to adjudicate
Okay.
how the families can come together again.
Yes.
And towards the end, they will cook yam with egg. And when they eat it together, then there's peace. We call it Igbo Riko. Igbo Riko. And there's something called Igwe, that is to cleanse the blood that has been spilled.
Yes.
So there's a negotiation, because the person who killed, let's say by accident, if it is intentional, of course there will not be any adjudication. They will go to court.
Yes, sir.
But if it is not intentional and the two parties agree that this is an accident, then the person, and depending on the degree of carelessness or non-carelessness, we determine how much that person will pay as compensation. The person will be told all that to be spent in burying that person, the money for the coffin, the money for the calling of the community together, the money for this and for that. It will be calculated. Let's say 2 million. And then the person will say, see now, everything, this thing can happen to anybody. Please now, it can go back down to 1 million, and even end up with 500,000.
Yes, sir.
Once the money has been paid and the people come together and the yam is cooked with egg, once the two parties partake of it, there is peace. Then they can now go and carry the corpse and bury.
Oh, thank you so very much for clarifying that. So the question, a very important question, is your view on whether the traditional African method of settling dispute or indigenous method evolved into ADR. That's the alternative or appropriate dispute resolution of settling dispute in this modern day or modern times.
So what I can say is that the way we settle disputes is very old and is not dependent on colonialization. Is very recent. Is very recent compared to our history. That the white people came for colonialization and missionarization, but we have been there. We have been using the same method of adjudication as I've spoken to you, but we have also been a little bit influenced, like the invitation of witnesses or some of those formalities. Like I told you, it is not in when the oldest is settling his own dispute.
As the third parties, informal third parties.
All of them are together. They are not called in extra. This calling in extra is a kind of what is borrowed from the litigation process and so on, the kind of imitation of what the magistrate does. But I know that, but the core behavior of allowing people to express themselves, people having the impression that they are being listened to and understood. Even if you know the answer, you will allow the person to completely exhaust himself with his anger and the explanation of how justified he may be. Because thereafter, the person is a little bit unburdened. And the whole thing is close. Your close members, your close family members are telling you that what you did is right, or telling you that what you did is wrong. One of them said, I was even there. Have you forgotten that I was there? And then it is so close that there isn't much pretense.
Yes.
If people are close to one another and the truth emerges, because we're always looking for the truth.
Yeah.
Immediately people see the truth, the decision is taken.
Yeah.
So this particular search for the truth method of adjudication is very old. Some people are arguing that I'm an Igbo. Some people are arguing that Igbo culture and tradition is older than, in fact, it compares. Some people are saying we are from Israel, or that the Israelites are from us. We don't know who is from who, but all we know is that the similarities, either they are from us or we are from them. But it's more likely they're from us than that we are from them, which means this is very old. Yes, so the issue of mediation, like I told you, when we were doing, and we are still doing monitoring, going to court is very costly. Yes, and somebody will say, okay, I give you a story of one of the cases we had. There's a woman who came and reported to us that a man from my village put a girl with physical challenge, yes, a physically child, special needs child, yes, into the family way. And that child is an orphan. So they are so mad, they were so mad, those who came and reported. So we were happy. My sister is a lawyer. She went quickly and took up the matter, and we were very rejoicing that we now have a case that we can take up. And after some time, we didn't see anybody who was coming to us. So I asked questions, and then the women trooped in and asked me to tell my sister that if she's ready to train 7 children of the man who put that handicap child in the family way, if she's ready to train them, look after them during his absence, that they will agree.
Oh my goodness.
But that man has come to them behind the scene, kneeling down and putting salt in his mouth, pronounced that he will help that little girl go through the pregnancy and that he will never do it again. And in my culture, once you put salt in your mouth and pronounce, if you don't do it, it's believed that you will die.
Oh.
So for those women, that man kneeling down with salt in his mouth and promising to help that girl, and promising not to do such again, for them, they have redress. So what they would achieve by getting him in prison, they have achieved it through that means. There's another case also where a woman and the husband quarreled, and the woman left the husband in Enugu and went to Lagos. When she left, the female child was 8 and the male child was about 4. Yeah. About 4 years later, the daughter was writing to the mother in Lagos to come home, something bad will happen. They live in a 1-bedroom flat and they have a double bunker bed. Yeah. Initially, the boy used to sleep with the father up and the girl down. But as she was growing up and becoming bigger, the father suggested to the boy that he should also go down so that the girl can also come up. Okay. And the boy was later reporting that the sister used to make herself up every night, making powder and so on, and he didn't know what was happening. Yes. Apparently, the man was having incest with the daughter. So when the mother came back, because the tone of the daughter, the tone of the letters of the daughter was being extreme. Yeah. She came and told her that she wants this man nailed, jailed forever and put her away. So we were happy. We said, we are with you. We have lawyers. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
After some time, we didn't see the woman again. And then she came after and told us that the family was telling her, so it's because of this thing, your husband, you are ready to jail this man, to bring him to court. Court is like something that is extraordinary. It's like almost death itself. So because of these complications, we had to get this matter into her religious denomination. And then they took it up. They took it up and they got redress. I don't know what they did, but they took up the matter. Sometimes we also refer to traditional rulers and town union and so on. So remember, what I'm trying to tell you is why that mediation somehow could not break, litigation method could not settle. It could not settle in the African culture. It could not settle free. So that is how, in my own estimation, all these methods came up.
Okay. So
other than institutional means of solving disputes. So if you ask me, go ahead.
No, we have 1 minute. We just if I just 1 minute left. So let me. What do you have to say if I ask you?
Ask the last question.
No, I'm not. I don't think I'll be able to ask another question. We've run out of time.
My answer to your question
is
that traditional means of dispute is